Hello everyone, welcome to Answer Kari. In this video, we'll be dealing with the number system questions which were previously asked in the UPSC examination. So the first question says, a gardener has 1000 plants. He wants to plant them in such a way that the number of rows and the number of columns remain the same. What is the minimum number of plants that he needs more for this purpose? तो सबसे पहली बात तो ये बोलता है कि the number of plants should be such that the number of rows and columns are equal. So for example, there are 3 rows. For example, there will be 3 rows. Then there should be 3 columns also, right? Which means that the number of plants should be a square number. यानी कि यहाँ पे अगर x number of plants and here we have x number of plants. So the number should be x square, which means that the number should be a perfect square. Which means that if we find out the square root of that particular number, then we actually get a natural number. So now what happens is they are saying that a gardener already has 1000 plants. So and they're asking that what is the minimum number of plants? The minimum number. Which means that 1000 के बाद ऐसे बहुत सारे numbers आएंगे जो कि obviously perfect square होंगे. But we want the minimum number of plants that he needs more, which means they need to be added. More means addition, right? So which means which should be added to 1000 so that this particular number becomes a perfect square. Now if we try assuming the numbers, for example 30 is a simple number, right? And its square will directly be 900. So we can round off that 900 is somewhere close to 1000. Then if we find out the square of 31, it will be 961. So now again, so it becomes pretty obvious that the next number will be 32 and the square of 32 is equal to 1024, which means that we need to add 24 to 1000 so that the number becomes 1024 and this number is a perfect square, which means that the value of x will be equal to 32, which means that there will be 32 rows and 32 columns. And the total number of plants that will be equal to 1024. So the plants that he needs more for this purpose is 24. More यानी कि हमें ज़्यादा चाहिए. So the answer for this question will be equal to 24. Now the next question says a sum of 700 has to be issued to give 7 cash prizes to the students of a school for their overall academic performance, which means that this sum is equal to 7000 and to give 7 cash prizes, which means 7 students are there जिनको कि हम prizes दे रहे हैं, right, for their overall academic performance. If each prize is rupees 20 less than its preceding price, what is the least value of the prize? So they are basically saying that the total number of students are 7. And suppose that the student who gets highest amount, so the highest amount is x, the cash prize, the highest cash prize is x. Then the next student will get x minus 20. Each price is 20 less than its preceding price. So preceding price क्या है x, then the next price will be x minus 20. And then if we subtract 20 from x minus 20, it will be equal to x minus 40. And so on, it will be x minus 60, x minus 80, x minus 100, and x minus 120. So this will be the condition. So these are like 7 cash prizes for 7 students. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Yes. So these are like 7 cash prizes which have a difference of 20. And it is given that this sum is equal to 700. Now they're asking what is the least value of the prize. So least value will be x minus 120 and the highest value will be equal to x. So to find out the value, we all know that after adding all these prices, the sum will be equal to 700 as it is given in the question. So it will be 7x minus, after we add all these, like 20, 40 will be 60, then 120, then it will be 200, then 300, and it will be 420. So it will be 420 is equal to 700. So 7x will be equal to, after adding, we'll get 300, so it will be 1120, right? And after we divide it by 7, it will be 7, 1. then it will be 6 are 42, and then so it will be 160, which means that the highest value of price or the highest price, the cash price जिसकी सबसे ज़्यादा value है, that जो हमने assume करा था कि वो x है, this its value will be equal to 160, and the least value will be equal to x minus 120. So 160 minus 120 will be equal to 40, which means that the least value will be equal to 40, least value of the price. So the answer for this question will be equal to 40. Now the next question says the letters L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S and T in their order are substituted by 9 integers 1 to 9, but not in that order. यानी कि L से लेकर के T तक जितने भी letters हैं इन सबको हमने integers allot करे हैं from 1 to 9, but the order is not such कि L is 1, M is 2, N is 3. This is not the order. Randomly the distribution has taken place. Now they say 4 is assigned to P. यानी कि P is assigned 4. Then they say the difference between P and T is 5. Now the difference between P and T will be equal to 5. So that means that T will be equal to 9. Because 9 minus 4 will be equal to 5, right? The difference between N and T is 3. So N will come, so we can add n here. So the difference between n and t is equal to 3, which means n is equal to 6. Now they say what is the integer assigned to n. So the integer assigned to n is 6. So this is a pretty simple question. So the answer for this question is equal to 6. Basically, if we just keep going with the information of the question, we can simply find out the answers. A group of 630 children is seated in rows for a group photo session. Each row contains 3 less children than the row in front of it. So the total number of children is equal to 630. ये हमें पता लगा. Next it says each row contains 3 less children than the row in front of it. Which one of the following number of rows is not possible? Which means suppose there are x number of students in the first row, then the second row will have x minus 3 students, the third row will have x minus 6 students, and so on. It can continue till whatever, we do not know that, but what they are asking is which one of the following numbers of rows is not possible, which means, for example, these right now that I've drawn are 3 number of rows, right? So if we check by 3, now obviously the value of x after we put it into equations should be a natural number for the answer to be that the number of rows is possible, right? Because the number of children cannot be in decimals or fractions, obviously. So if we assume that for now since the options have like pretty small numeric values, so we can solve this question by options. For example, if I take the first option, that is 3, which means that there are 3 number of rows. So here I have drawn already 3 number of rows. So the number of children will be equal to 3x minus 9, like minus 6 plus minus 3 will be equal to minus 9. And we have 3x, so it will be 3x. Now they say that the total number of children is equal to 630. So 3x will be equal to 639. So after we divide this will be completely divisible, right? 213, which means that the number of students in the first row will be equal to 213, which means that the number of rows, if 3, it is possible. This is possible that the number of rows can be equal to 3. Now, if we check by 4, that if the number of rows can be equal to 4 or not, it will be 4x minus 12. Obviously, if we write here minus 9, and then so on minus 12. So this will keep on going. Minus 12 when there will be 5 rows. Minus 9 when there will be 4 rows. So on. So 4x minus 12 will be equal to 630. And we just need to check the divisibility, that whether x is a natural number or not. Because the number of students is supposed to be a natural number, obviously. So again, 642 after we added, then x will be equal to, now this is not divisible by 642 is not divisible by 4, because obviously 42 is not divisible by 4, but that is a divisibility property, which means that x will not be a natural number. So that means that the number of rows that is not possible is equal to 4. So the answer for this question will be equal to 4.